Hey kids, welcome back to another video in our channel with a very difficult topic in mathematics known as trigonometry. So today we shall find out whether it is actually difficult or it can be studied in a very easier and funnier way. And we'll also eventually come down to the answer, what is the actual height of Mount Everest. So without any much further delay, let's start with our classes. So how can we learn trigonometry? Trigonometry is mainly associated with the right angle triangle in our geometry. So in right angle triangle we have one right angle and the other two unknown angles. So among them, let's first consider this angle to be our angle theta or angle x or whatever angle you want to name it. So in respect to this theta, we have certain basic formulas in trigonometry that we need to learn in order to understand it. First of all, we have sine theta, that is p by h. Now what is p, what is h? In right angle triangle, the side opposite to the angle theta, we will consider it as perpendicular, in short as p, and the side that is associated or joined with the angle theta, we will consider it as base, or rather in short for b. And the another side, the very popular side in the Pythagoras theorem that we have, is the hypotenuse. So we already know the relations about the perpendicular, base and hypotenuse from the Pythagoras theorem, and we will apply certain shortcut formulas over here. So next we have cos theta, that is base by hypotenuse, and ultimately we have tan theta, that is perpendicular by base, or also we can express it in the form of sin theta by cos theta, a very traditional formula that you have already seen on the internet through memes and everything. But should you put the formulas here, that is p by h and b by h, and cross multiply it, you will obviously get the answer that tan theta can be expressed as sin theta by cos theta. Now the most difficult part of trigonometry comes with remembering the formulas and everything. So since we are starting with a small part, we can remember this p by h, b by h and p by b in a funnier way, which I learned from my own teacher, Pandit Bhola Prasad, har har bole. Remember this sentence and you can always come back to the original formula. So next topic comes in where we have to learn another set of formulas, or rather you could say values, for sin theta, cos theta and tan theta. These values will be requiring in each and every sum from your book, and these are quite tough to memorize, so I will teach you a generalized method so that you can even form out your own values in the examination hall and you don't have to memorize it any longer. So listen carefully. Let's consider 5 numbers from 0 till 4, the way I have written them. Now among these 5 numbers, the highest number that we have is 4. So what we will do is we'll divide each and every number that we are considering with 4. That is 4 divided by 4, 3 divided by 4, 2 divided by 4, 1 divided by 4 and 0 divided by 4. Next step we will do is take a square root of each of these values. So now what we were getting, the end result of this series of numbers, what we will get are the values of sin theta for this particular degree ratios. This will help you to form the table. Let's start with this. 0 by 4 is obviously 0, and taking a square root of 0 will obviously be 0. So sin 0 will be 0. 1 by 4, taking a square root of that will come down to 1 by 2. Now obviously you could say that it will come down to minus 1 by 2 as well, but in trigonometry we don't consider the negative values, we only consider the positive values, because of course this is not algebra. 2 by 4, it comes down to 1 by 2, and square root of 1 by 2 is only 1 by root over of 2. This one will come down to root over 3 by 2, and ultimately this one will come down to 1. So we have the values for sin theta. You did not memorize it. Once again I am telling, form your own values in the examination hall and continue with your sums. After all, you need only the answers and not the process. Cos theta, we will just start with sin theta from backwards and we'll just reverse the values, and that will get the cos theta values. Like we'll put here 1, here we'll put root 3 by 2, here we'll put root over 1 by root 2, here it will be 1 by 2, and here it will be 0. So just by reversing the value of sin theta from right side to left hand side, we can get the value of cos theta. And tan theta, since I've already expressed it in the forms of sin theta by cos theta, take each and every set of values and divide it, we'll get the values of tan theta. Like 0 divided by 1, we will get 0. 1 by 2 divided by root 3 by 2, we will get 1 by root 3. These two values are same, so obviously dividing them will get 1. Here we will get root over of 3, and here obviously we will get 1 by 0, and this comes down to infinity. So here we have the entire table and that's all the values.
1, 2, 3, start.
So in trigonometry, other than sine, cos and tan thetas, we have a different set of formulas, that is cosec theta, sec theta and cot theta. Now cosec theta can be expressed in the form of 1 by sine theta, sec theta can be expressed in the form of 1 by cos theta, and cot theta can be expressed in the forms of 1 by tan theta. So let's find out the value of cosec theta, and as for the sec theta and cot theta, you can find out on your own. So first one, cosec 0, we will get 1 by sine theta, that is 1 by 0, we will be getting infinity, the one that I told you in tan theta part. Next, sine of 30 degree 1 by 2, so we will get cosec of 30 degree as 2. This one will be getting as root 2, this one as 2 by root 3, and 1 divided by 1 will obviously be 1. So in a similar way, find out the values of sec theta and cot theta, and obviously you can match those values along with your book. Now finally the part that you have all been waiting for, how to find out the height of Mount Everest. Now before we get to this part, let me tell you that all these applications of trigonometry, you will find it in a chapter in your book called heights and distance. Now in heights and distance, mainly we deal with sine, cos, tan, cosec, sec, cot, each and everything, but with the basic formulas, that is perpendicular by hypotenuse or base by hypotenuse, with those certain formulas, not the complex ones. So in here, in heights and distance chapter, will be introduced with two more terms. One is known as the angle of elevation, another is known as the angle of depression. Now what are those in simple terms? We can say, if you are standing here, if you are looking up, the angle that your eyes are looking upwards, that is known as the angle of elevation. If you are at the top of Mount Everest, if you are looking down, obviously you can't be seeing anything, but still let us consider that you can see anything or something down there. So the way that you're looking down your eyes, that is known as the angle of depression. So these two things that will be introduced in this chapter, and it's a very simple concept. Anyways, so here we have considered something that looks like a Mount Everest. From the base I found out from the Google, you can obviously Google it, it will somehow come out to this answer. And let us consider that the angle of elevation for this Mount Everest we have is 30 degree. So now let's get back to our basics in trigonometry. Firstly, we will write tan 30 degree is equal to perpendicular by base. You can rewind the video, you can watch it the way that I have derived the formulas, or I have already written it down. From there we are having perpendicular by base. Now which part is the perpendicular? If we are considering this as 30 degree or theta, the perpendicular is actually the one that I have renamed as height. So I have written down height over there, and the base part what I have got from Google, I have kept the value as it is. And for tan 30 degree, I have already taken out the values in that table, and I have already put it there as 1 by root 3. So now all that remains is a simple basic calculation that you all need to do. You have to find out height by cross multiplying. We'll get 15324 by root over 3 and put the values in a calculator, or you can already calculate it in your mind, and then you will get the answer, which will approximately come close to the true value of the height of Mount Everest that we have. So this is how the actual first height of Mount Everest was calculated in this way, and later on the accuracy increased and we have a better answer today, that is 8,848 kilometer. So this is the application of trigonometry in our life. Don't go around saying things that sine theta, cos theta are not available in our life, we are not able to apply it. We just need to know that in which correct place we need to apply it. So that's it for today's video. I'll be coming back again with a different chapter on a different day. And should you have any doubts, any question, any sums that you are unable to solve from this trigonometry, this degree comparisons, all this, and heights and distance chapter, pin it down in the comments, and we might be coming back with a short video on the solutions of those parts. If you had fun watching my class today on trigonometry, subscribe to our channel so that you can stay tuned on my next upcoming videos, which is on the topic, a very easier one, simple interest and compound interest. You have already learned simple interest when you were a child, and then I will introduce you with a different form of simple interest calculation that is known as compound interest, and what is the difference between these two topics. So like our video, share our video with your friends, and subscribe on our channel so that you can stay tuned for my next upcoming video, and we'll be back very soon on this.